And we're going to get started here tonight. So welcome, everybody. It's Lori. Glad to have you on for our Zoom call tonight. We're going to be talking about recruiting. In just a moment, I hope that this crazy thing works and I'm able to get my face in the screen. But until then, we will just go the way we are. So tonight we're going to talk about recruiting. It's interesting. I got even more excited as I was doing our leader orientation call here about an hour ago. We started reviewing all of the money that you can make by building a team. And I think we even had some managers on the call, you know, steps above leader, that were really quite shocked at the amount of money that's really out there and how really undeniably we have one of the best comp plans in the industry. So tonight, as we talk about that, I hadn't initially intended to really go into that much, but I think it's so important that we keep that fresh in our mind that, hey, this is a big deal and there's a lot of money out there to be made, and we want you to be able to make it. So I do want to remind everyone we're working on our 31 and 31 days. Every team out there putting in 31 parties in the month of March that has 31 days. And we're also into March Money Madness. And, you know, that's just such a great way to look at our business, too, is that March Money Madness flyer. Hopefully each of you have opened it and taken a look at it. To think about how are you using your money each month? What is this business providing for you? And then look at how many parties it's going to take to do that. If it's a date night or maybe your cell phone bill or something like that, then you're probably going to want to hold about a party a month. If it's your a spa day or maybe a car payment, maybe it's 2 to 4 parties. You know, if you're making your mortgage, maybe it's 6 to 8 parties. And I think that's such a great way to look at our business and to be able to actually find everyone a place based on what they really want in this business. And recruiting is such a big piece of that I want to keep that in front of you guys. So keep that in mind as we're talking today, because, you know, in the beginning, I think everyone realizes your parties are the majority of your income to start. But the reason we hold parties, ladies and gentlemen, is not to sell product. The reason we hold parties is to book parties and to recruit chocolatiers to sell product. So when we walk into a party, what you're doing is you're allowing that host to be your networking manager. So depending on how well you want to do in this business is how well you want to partner with your host to have a networking manager for free, for gosh sakes. That's the real beauty of this, is your networking partner is a free partner. And I just think that's such a wonderful thing to know, is that Dove actually pays for your entire networking cost, if you think about it. Because they pay the entire host rewards program. And that is your networking event. You could go to 6 networking events a week and it not cost you anything by going to 6 parties. And there you're going to be meeting people. Let's say you meet an average of 10 people per party. That's 60 people a week. That's 240 people a month that you're adding to your network. So parties are a great place to start for the recruiting. But, you know, when we ask the question, why recruit? There's probably as many answers out there as there are people on our call tonight. However, there's some real obvious ones that we'll talk about. The first is the income. You give yourself a raise at Dove, at DCD, with your very first recruit. You know, there's a lot of companies out there that you have to, you know, have 3 or more on your team, and you have all these hoops you have to jump through before you get paid. And one of the things that I love about our comp plan is we pay you with your very first recruit. You don't have to wait. You don't have to be a rock star. You don't have to do it full time. You don't have to build a certain size team. You just have to bring someone in, and you're going to start making 5% of what they sell. Boom. Starts right off the top. When you become a leader, which means you have 3 people on your team, 3 personally active chocolatiers on your team, personally recruited active chocolatiers, You're going to make 5% on your first level, but now you're going to start making on the people they recruit. So you're going to make 4% of what they do. So now all of a sudden, you're making money while you're at home. You're making a bonus while you're at your parties because other people will be out there partying as well. We are one of the few comp plans that have an infinity. Once you become a manager, your manager bonus is on your entire group volume to infinity. That is huge. It's so important to recruit and to build your team. And we're one of the few comp plans that when you become, when you promote other managers, there's number one, there's no breakaway. But number two, you get a raise. Instead of making 3% on that group, you're going to make 5% on that group because you help them be better. And most comp plans, you're going to see that that bonus goes down, not goes up. So, like I said, undeniably, we're one of the best comp plans in the industry, and we want you to take advantage of everything there is out there for you. So, keep that in mind as we talk today about why you want to recruit. And of course, like I said, right now with the unlimited $85 kit, you know, I always tell people to be careful during this time because you don't want people to join because they want an $85 kit. That's not going to build your business. But it is a great opportunity to go in and start talking to people and, you know, kind of a hook maybe or get you over the hump. But our opportunity is the same, whether it's an $85 kit or a $115 kit. So what you want to do is sell the opportunity, and then the kit being on sale is a helpful close. So keep that in mind. Your sell, your approach is not the $85 kit. Your approach is, what can I do to help make your life better? How can Dove Chocolate Discoveries make a difference in your life? And guess what? This month you get to make that change for less money than you normally do. That's the only thing. The second thing, I believe, a reason that we want to recruit is that it just feels good to share. I have never had anyone call me and go, oh my gosh, I got my first recruit, I'm so mad. It just doesn't happen. People are excited. They don't even know why they're happy. But, you know, I think it's an innate thing that we have from birth that, you know, when sharing feels good. Now, when you're 2 years old and your mom says to share your favorite toy, you may not have thought it felt so good. However, it makes for very good, what's my word I'm looking for, balanced human beings in the world that we live in. The more we can share, the more we can play in the sandbox well together, the more we can help each other, the better off we all are, whether it's at Dove, whether it's, you know, in our other workplaces, in our churches, in our homes, in our communities. It's just, sharing is a really great thing, and it feels good when you do it. So I always, as I walk into a party, another thing that I tell myself, I literally walk in and I kind of have these little mantras I say through my head while I'm driving, and one is, who am I going to help tonight? I'm going into this party today to see whose life can I be part of changing. For those of you that know my story, I'm sure there's some that don't, but I started doing this 26 years ago, or right at 26. My kids were 4 months, 2 and 4. Les is 25, they're 25, 27, and 30 now. And I had to think about that for a moment. I guess my age is catching up with me. And we were poor as dirt. That's all I know to tell you. I didn't realize how poor we were. I mean, we had a house, but we could barely make our car payment, and we definitely lived paycheck to paycheck and all. You know, there was no, like, paying bills early, and, you know, we were paying minimum payments on things. And I think about the lady that saw me and saw I didn't have a car. I'd only lived in the country for 4 months. I'd been living in Canada. I'd never lived in Texas. I knew 4 people, and those were people because I could walk to the church we went to. I mean, it's kind of like when our mom's like, oh, I walked 3 miles in the snow to school uphill. I kind of was living that life when I started it. But I'm so excited that she wasn't, that number one, she didn't judge me and think why I couldn't do it. She looked at me and thought why I should do it, how I could do it. And the second thing was, She didn't worry about herself and if she was going to seem pushy or weird or rude. Instead, she thought, I'm going to change this young girl's life. And boy, has she. I mean, I can't even imagine what my life would be like. This is the income that we've made until I married Mitchell a year and a half ago. Full on, this was our income. And I have to tell you guys, we've lived a pretty darn good life. And I'm proud to say that. I'm very happy with the life, that we live. And so I hope that you're out there sharing it. And, whether you want to build a big business or not, still share, because you might be recruiting the next Donald Trump of direct sales. Who knows? And wouldn't it be fun to know that you played a part in that? And that's why you want to not be selfish and you want to share. Of course, as you recruit, just like I mentioned earlier, promotions come through our comp plan. And with promotions come bonuses, become more levels of pay, become more overrides, become more opportunities, become more trips, becomes more fun, becomes more friends. It's all there for you. Another reason you want to recruit early and you want to recruit often is because of our Quick Start program. When you join our business, we have a wonderful 90-day Quick Start program that you can earn up to about $400 worth of business supplies and products through your sales. But you know what? On the recruiting side, it's an unlimited amount. I'm looking at the screen right now, and I don't know if y'all see what I see. I was trying to get myself big in the screen. Not that I want to see myself big, but one person that I can see is Delana Wood. And Delana joined us about 2 weeks ago, and maybe 3. It wasn't very long, though. And Delana recruited 10 people in those first 2 weeks she was in the business. In fact, it was 3 weeks ago today. Now, Delana gets $100 for the first recruit, her first recruit when they qualify. She gets $125 for her second recruit when they qualify. And she gets $150 for her third and higher recruit. And she gets that for the 90 days, and she's only been in 21. Can you do some quick math there? It's like $1,250 or $1,750 that she has set herself up for in her first 3 weeks. That's a lot. Do y'all agree that's a lot of money? And she did that basically without leaving her house. Now she's going out and leaving her house and helping them and engaging with them and starting them to have a strong business. We were just on a leader call earlier, and I was asking Becky Glidden what her how much Coco Cash she had, or Becky Grant, and she said, well, right now she doesn't have a lot because she just treated most of her team members to free registration for a national conference because it was free money to her. She said, but before she did that, she had about $3,000 in Coco Cash. And the reason I say that program never ends is because Karen Simpson, who is Delana's upline, is getting a matching bonus because she's there to support Delana. When Delana has a question, she can pick up the phone and call Karen. So Doug respects that and appreciates the time Karen invests in someone like Delana. So we give her a business credit. You see a good reason to always be recruiting? Because every time you recruit, you put yourself back in that 90-day program with that Coco Cash. It never goes away. You're in it forever with the Coco Cash. And that is, for those of you, I'm using terms you might not know, Coco Cash is like cash on account. You can use it to purchase business supplies. You can use it to pay conference registration. You can use it to buy products. It's just cash on account. So it's free money. Because our goal at Dove is for you not to spend your profit supporting your business like most, when I love Tupperware, so I'm not putting them down by any means. But when I was at Tupperware, we actually paid a portion of even the host rewards that came out of our profit. Our catalogs, our order forms. Some companies, I know, they even charge the credit card processing fees. Our goal is for you not to take any. When we say you're going to make 25 to 43% profit, we want all of that profit in your bank. And that makes for Happy chocolatiers and happy spouses and happy families. Trust me. When the money's going in and not going out, it's a lot more fun. So you want to recruit. Also remember, now this month, the $85 kit is nationwide, but every new recruit gets 3 additional $85 kit coupons, and you will be given an extension of 30 days if you're in your quick start. So you will be able to continue to offer that. So take advantage of our unlimited this month, and then use your own in April. So that's another reason to recruit early and recruit often, and those are good for 45 days. So where it all begins is in identifying leads. You're going to be able to identify people in many places. Now, the first place you're going to start, probably from day one, even before your first party, is from your own personal current network. I want you all to take a sheet of paper and number it from 1 to 10. And throughout this call tonight, when you think of someone that you would like to do business with, just write their name down. Don't ask yourself, will they say yes? Don't think of why they can't. Remember, I didn't have a car, I didn't have a babysitter, and I knew 4 people when I started doing this business almost 26 years ago. So people could have seen all the reasons I can't do it, but instead they saw the reasons I could. I needed a car, I needed to get out of the house, and I needed to meet people, and we definitely needed money. I don't know why this is like a God thing or something, but Camille Lincoln's face just popped up on the screen, and I laughed. Camille has 6 children. She has twin 3-year-olds. She homeschools. So people sometimes might look at her and say, oh, she's too busy to do this. But Camille is a top manager with us. She's about to go on her trip to Aruba. So instead of the person saying why she couldn't, they say, why can she? Why is this good for her? Actually, this is the perfect business for a family like Camille that homeschools and has a lot of children that have different schedules and you can work around. So first thing where you're going to identify leads is in your own personal network. So I want you, and some of you that have been on my calls, I talk about this exercise often, but I would challenge you to how many of you have really, truly done it. And if you want to be successful, you really, truly need to do it. So it's to think of if you were starting any kind of business, and for some people it's easier to take themselves out of the direct selling world because they assume people are going to say no to direct selling for some weird reason. And I want you to think, if you were starting any kind of business, a software business, a printing business, a nail salon, a restaurant, you would want to surround yourself with the best people you know. People that have great work ethic, people that are nice and friendly, people that have good marketing skills. Maybe it's current employees that always have your back, your business partners, your team members at your current job, people in your mom's groups or your dad's groups. Who would you want? If you could pick 10 people and you had a magic wand just like this, and you could just bop them on the head and poof, they would say yes. Who are the 10 people that you would really want and why? Be a recruiter. I get called by a business recruiter probably about 4 to 6 times a year. And I think it's always so funny because whether I know the recruiter or not, it always goes the same way. Hi, Laurie, this is so-and-so. So-and-so gave me your name, or I met you, blah, blah, blah. You know, I just remember, they just start paying me compliments up a storm. And I'm sure my ego and my head's going, bing, 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 you know. But it feels good. You know, we know everywhere you've been. You've built a great team. And, you know, you're known for your leadership skills and developing and yada, 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 yada. Well, what they're doing is things that you should do when you're inviting people. You want to share with them the good you see in them. Not enough people get that every day. The most important thing to recruiting is to first off build their ego. Look for things in them that will make them good. I remember what was said to me at the Tupperware party when I joined, and it's probably because, as y'all probably all figured out, I have no problem doing this. I have more problem doing this. So the lady said to me, you gave so many great ideas You should do this. I could pay you for those ideas instead of me getting the money. Well, that caught my attention. You know, it was a compliment instead of going, I wish you would have shut up and let me talk. She thanked me for, you know, for what I shared. And, you know, and she talked about my personality and blah, 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 blah. So look at people and think, what about them? Maybe it was the person in the corner that every time you needed something, she was up and running to the kitchen, or she was going to get your catalogs, or she went and got the pens when it was time to do orders, or, you know, compliment that person. You were so helpful today at the party. You know, I find that helpful people are helpful in most all circumstances. I bet you would be fantastic in this business helping others to succeed. That feels good. So think about your personal network. Who do you work with? What's a family member? And write them on this list, even if 100% in your mind you believe they will say no. Still put them on there. Let me tell you one thing. I have never had anyone get mad at me for paying them a compliment. Only time people, you can't, if you keep the focus on a person, you can't be pushy. When you're pushy is when the focus is on yourself. But as long as you're thinking about the other person, the best for them, it's impossible. It's an impossible task to be pushy. So make that list as we're going along and write those compliments down as they come to your head, because I know people are going to pop into your mind. Start that list also by thinking of other things, like who do you know that needs extra money? When that comes up, then write what good qualities do they have? Who do you know that loves chocolate? If that comes up, think of what good qualities they have. Who do you know that just needs to get out of the house? Maybe they're an empty nester and they're not used to their spouse being around so much. You know, after 40 years of marriage, maybe 24/7 is not an ideal situation for some people. Maybe they still need that break. Maybe they have young children at home and they're stranded and they need an outlet. Maybe they're just bored. When you think of those people, write down why you would want them. What good do they bring? What are their good characteristics? Do they have a great work ethic? Are they determined? Are they competitive? That's even a good one. You know, they go after what they want. Who do you know that dislikes their current job? This is the best one to look for at parties, because a lot of times they invite their friends from work and they just sit around and yank about their day at work. And look, let me give you a place where people don't do that, where people are going, I love what I do. I'm having so much fun. I'll never forget, I was at a party once. Oh gosh, this was probably 20 years ago. And I can't think of the girl's name, but I know she used to be a Baylor cheerleader. I can remember that for whatever reason. And she was cute as a button, and we were doing her launch party, and I was playing Ask Me Questions about my job. And she raised her hand. She goes, Lori, can I share something? I said, yeah, sure you can. And she said, you know, I know you guys are all my coworkers. I went to my first meeting on Monday night, and you know what I loved? Everybody was celebrating everybody else doing good. And she goes, at our job, nobody celebrates when someone else does good because it threatens their position most of the time. And I say this very lightly, but the beauty of this business is you don't have to wait for someone to die, get fired, or retire to get a promotion. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but think about it. In so many companies, for you to move up, someone else has to move out. And sometimes that out isn't necessarily up. In fact, in most cases, it's not. If you work in the corporate world, if you worked at Microsoft, do you think those guys are walking around telling all the other engineers their very best top secrets? Heck no, they're keeping them to themselves because they want the recognition for it and they want the raise for it. Well, you know what? You can get the recognition and the raise, and you can share it with everyone, and they can get recognition and raises too, and then you'll get more recognition for sharing it because there's no limit on your income. Can you imagine owning a business and not having to have a budget for payroll? Do you know that that's one of the biggest expenses in businesses today is their payroll? That's why there's so many cuts. That's why you go to restaurants and all of a sudden it doesn't seem like there's enough staff on Saturday night because they ran their business from Sunday to Saturday. And all of a sudden everyone's hitting overtime and they're cutting their hours and sending them home, and then you're getting bad service. Well, our investor, the Mars Corporation, has given you unlimited payroll. You don't have to ever stop recruiting. And you don't have to pay for it. That's pretty darn impressive. We're going to pay for your employees, basically, your independent chocolatiers that work in your business. We're going to write their check for them. So you have an unlimited business opportunity. Think of the people that love a good challenge. Think of that person that's just got an entrepreneurial spirit. Think of people that have been in the business this type of industry before. Think of those that haven't. Teachers make great chocolatiers because they're used to teaching, and this comes very natural. Nurses make great chocolatiers. They're very nurturing. So there's so many different, you can find a reason for everybody to be able to be part of this business in a good reason. So after you've gone through your personal network, then you carry this to your party. So y'all know I have all kinds of weird sayings, and I have all kinds of strange things that I do to keep myself on track. So what I used to do is I went into every party knowing I was going to identify 3 people that I wanted to work with. Now I want you to hear what I said. I said I identified 3 people that I wanted to work with, not 3 people that expressed interest. Now, some of those that I wanted to work with may have expressed interest also. But there was a bonus when I picked out 3 and then 2 others expressed interest. So that meant I had 5 people that were going to be prospects for me for the business. Now, everyone should be a prospect, quite honestly. However, I'm not going to say you have to approach everyone because you don't want it to become rote. You want it to be personal. You want to build a relationship. You want to think, you want to get to know them. And you're probably thinking, Lori, how do you do that at an hour party? Just by visiting with them, by doing the activities that we encourage you to do. Why do we say at the beginning of a party, ask people to tell you their name, how they know the host, and what would they do with an extra $500 to $1,500 at the end of every month? Well, we do that because that's the beginning of building a relationship. People like to be called by their name. That's why I use name badges. Number 2, knowing how they know the host introduces you to the host circle and who's from what circle in there. That helps you to see all the opportunities available. What would they do with extra money? Well, that tells you what their desires are. It doesn't mean that's their need. It's what their desires are. And so often desire pushes people's go button more than a need does. Some of you have heard me share about these fun little recruiting cards that we have. One says fun, one says support, one says time, one says simple, one says money. I lay those on the table and I have people write one of those underneath their name, whichever one resonates with them the most. That helps me to build a relationship. If they write fun, I'm going to talk about fun things with them. If they write support and we're chatting about different things, I'm going to focus on the fact of different levels of support that they could receive. They talk about time. I'm going to make sure I hit on the fact that it doesn't take a lot of time. I'm going to learn about what keeps them busy and why time is such a big important. Oh my goodness, I popped up. So that is a really important, those are things that we do. Why do we play Ask Me Questions About My Job at a party? Because we want to find out what their hesitations are. When someone asks you, do you make any money doing this? Honestly, do you think they care if you make any money doing this? Sorry, they don't even know you. They don't care. What they're really thinking is, can I make any money? The one that says, does your husband mind you being out at night? Do they really care what your husband thinks? They're thinking, I wonder what my husband would think. The one that says, is it hard to book parties? They don't care if it's hard for you to book parties. These are the obstacles that they feel like they might be facing, or the hesitations, the things that might hold them back. So you want to make sure that you're addressing those things. And that's a great way to learn. So now I know their desires, just from doing just a few party activities. I know their desires. I know their circles. I know their hesitations. And I know what's important to them and their kind of their need. Is it fun, support, time, money? What area of that? That tells me a lot about a person, and it really gives me, for lack of a better word, some really great ammunition. And I don't like that word when I'm talking about recruiting because it sounds like I'm gonna do something bad, but it gives me a great strength to identify how I can service them the best. And that's truly what you're doing. You're providing a service. There was a trainer I heard once, and I love the way she did her customer care calls. She would always call and say, I was just wanting to call you today and check in with you and make sure you know about our 3 types of service we provide. Can I share them with you? And then she would say, and by saying we have 3, can I share them? People know they kind of now, if they say yes, they have to let her go through all 3, right? So the first way that we service our customers is by offering them the opportunity to build their own business around their family and other activities for an extra income or even a full-time income. Have you ever thought about doing something alongside your family and other activities? Get a yes or no. You start right off the bat. They say, no, I'm in a place right now where that works. I need anything like that. You can say, well, okay. Well, the second way we service people is by giving them free product and a place to gather their friends and have a great night out. When's the last time you treated yourself and your friends to a fun night out and just let loose, ate chocolate, and had a great time? There's your booking. And if for whatever reason you can't get them to book, the next thing that you ask them for is referrals. So that's our 3 types of service. And I love that service approach because truly if you go that direction, you're really thinking of them, your business is going to grow. Other ways you can, if you're really still struggling, looking for identifying leads, is look for the person with the biggest order. They obviously like the product. Maybe they would like sharing it with others and getting it at a discount. Or getting lots of Cocoa Cash and getting it for free. Look for that person that has an outgoing personality that maybe you don't feel like has ever met a stranger. They're going to be your good talkers. They're going to talk to people. Good talkers aren't always the best people, though. If they talk too much, they don't ever hear. So that's always something I have to work on is slow down, listen. But these are all things that we learn in the business. The one that just loved the chocolate, place the smallest order or no order at all. Maybe it was an income thing, is why they did it. Lives in an area where we do not have a chocolatier or many chocolatiers. Guess what, guys? That's everywhere. We have 0 areas where we would have what I call strong penetration of chocolatiers. So your areas are wide open. Just to paint a picture for you, when I was a Tupperware distributor, I had 2,000 people in my downline, and they all lived in Dallas-Fort Worth. Because we weren't allowed to recruit outside our area. We actually had like a territory. And there were 4 other people like me. There were close to 10,000 Tupperware consultants in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. And so this is how we still did not have good penetration, though, because I can tell you that for 2 things. One, there was a lady by the name of Teresa Barlow and a lady by the name of Rachel Cromwell. They both had kindergartners at the same school that my son was a kindergartner at, and Rachel's daughter and my son were even in the same class. We all had very successful businesses. We were all car driving managers. And never in 26 years has anyone ever said to me, do you know Rachel Cromwell or Teresa Barlow? And we lived within a mile of each other. But that's how you get out of that circle, right? So quickly. Another reason I can tell you that is I set up, as a distributor, we had kiosks in the malls. And I would watch people walk down the mall and see the Shape-O toy or see a picture. And they're literally, subconsciously, their arms were kind of open like they were going to walk up and embrace the car. They go, Tupperware, I didn't even know you were still in business. There's 10,000 of us. How did you not know, right? So think of the opportunity that you have with Dove Chocolate Discoveries, an exclusive product that they can't get anywhere else. They can't even order it off our website unless they order it from a chocolatier. We have so protected your business and keeping it out of the marketplace that they can't even buy off our own website without choosing a chocolatier to buy from. So every area. But if you don't know how to approach them, here's my line that I use all the time. Hi, Diane. This is Lori. How are you? She says, fine. I say, Diane, I'm so excited. I see that you live in Irving, and there's so much new housing and construction going on in Irving. I'm looking for someone to help me market in that area. Hang up. Hey, Delana, this is Lori. I met you last night at the party. I'm so glad you live in the Woodlands. There's so much construction going on over there and so many new people moving in. I'm looking for someone to help me market in that area. I mean, hey, Michael, this is Lori. I mean, same thing over and over. If I didn't know who it was, that's the route I took. And there's nothing wrong with it because it's completely true. I am always looking for new people to market in areas. And when you can say, how would you like to market for Dove Chocolate, part of the Mars Corporation, boy, that's catchy. People know we're going to be around. They know we have a reputation. They know they're not going to have to explain what Dove Chocolate is. Now, they have to explain what Dove Chocolate Discoveries is, and that's why we need so many more people so we don't have to any longer. They're not going to have to explain what Dove Chocolate is. Every host and hostess should be talked to about the business opportunity. So important. If you need a crutch, I use the Host Tic Tac Chocolate. If you don't have that, ask your upline leader or manager to help you put that in your host pack. It's a crutch for you to open that door. If you're using my famous 4 questions on the back of the drawing slip, the question that says, who in this room would make the most successful chocolatier? Approach the person that got the most votes. Approach the people that write me as the answer. And remember, if someone writes me, they write that answer, and they write themselves and they write the word me. Don't try to interview them. Just say, I think you would make a great one too, Melissa. Let's get you started. And then if she has questions, she will backtrack you through and figure it out. But don't backtrack it for her. You can create doubt and concern, like, why is she doing this? Like, why is she not just saying, let's do it? What am I missing? So recruiting is about building a relationship. It's about learning about your prospects, which includes all guests at parties, people you meet out and about. One of my favorite lines is when I meet a great person in the service industry, whether it's a cashier, a server at a restaurant, someone at a dry cleaners, and I say to them, they're that very nice person that just makes you happy, and I look at them and I go, I got a question for you because you're really good at what you do. Are you paid what you're worth? I can tell you one thing, I've never had anyone tell me yes, that they're paid what they're worth. And so that's a perfect opportunity to say, well, you know what, I have a business and I'd love to show you how you can be paid what you're worth. And, can I get your name and number and follow up with you? And those people are pretty likely to answer the phone. So it's a great way to go about that. Just remember, get to know them first. When you meet for them, don't vomit, for lack of a better word, on them of what all Dove is about. Learn about them, because quite honestly, I was telling somebody this the other day. If it was just about Dove and the chocolate, you would drive up to 400 Valley Street in Mount Arlington, New Jersey, and people would be lined up around the door. Because we are the #1 chocolate company in the world. Dove is the #1 chocolate brand in the world. And chocolate's the #1 flavor in the world. So if it was just about the chocolate, people would be lined up around the door signing up. But it's not. It's about the relationship. I've never had anybody say to me, I don't like her, I don't trust her, I don't like him, I don't trust him, but I'm going to join their team. They don't do it. They've got to like you and they've got to trust you. Doesn't mean that you need to be best friends with them. There has to be a respect, a business respect, and a trust there, because when they buy that kit, they're investing themselves in a business that they're counting on you to help them succeed. Let me see where I got off my notes here. So I'm going to come off here for just a second. We have about 15 minutes left, and I'm going to ask for a volunteer. And I'm going to do a Coco chat to the best of my ability with you. And from a distance. And I'm going to do it as if we were on the phone, since that's probably more like what we are. And I'm going to keep it a little shorter than normal. And the person that agrees to do this is going to play the role of the future of the prospect. And I'm going to play the role of the chocolatier. So don't worry, I'll do the hard work. And if you want to call it that. But I want those of you that aren't playing the role, that aren't being the volunteer, to be really listening for key phrases that I use, questions that I ask, how I engage, how I build a relationship, and then how I close, okay? So this is totally unplanned. Who would like to be my volunteer? You'll need to be able to come off mute. I'll pick somebody if you don't start volunteering. Okay, is that Tara? Yeah. So
I'll do it.
So Tara, here's what I want you to do, okay? I want you to respond as naturally as possible. I don't want you to make it hard on me for the sake of making it hard. I don't want you to make it easy for the sake of making it easy. Whatever happens, happens, okay?
Okay.
React as naturally as possible. So I met Tara. I'll set the stage. I met Tara at a party last night. I had overheard her talking about that her job is not her favorite thing in the world, and she wished she didn't have to leave the party, but she had to get up early and go to work the next day, and she really wished she just didn't have to do that, but financially, they really counted on that income, but she'd give anything to at least be able to go part-time, spend some more time with her children, and but have something to replace that. So I said to Tara at the end that I overheard her talking about that to her friends, and I thought I might have an answer, and would she be interested in just hearing about what I have to offer, so if ever the time comes, she can make an educated decision. So before I even start this, I want you to hear what I said to her. I didn't say I want to tell you so you can sell. So it's very open. If you ever decide you want to do this, you have all the facts, Tara, so you can make an educated decision. A lot of times when you approach someone, they'll go, oh, no, I can't do that right now, maybe later. Well, what you want to say to that person is, you know what, I completely respect that. I'll tell you what, why don't you and I meet for coffee, or why don't we have a phone chat? Let me give you the facts, so when the later comes, you already have the information and you can make a great educated decision based on the facts and not what you think you know. Let me treat you to some coffee. Why not? Okay? That's kind of where Tara and I went. She didn't say no. She just said, she'd listen. So I made the phone call. Tara's answered the phone. And so I'm just going to jump in from there. So first thing you notice, I did grab a notepad. I'm going to take notes. And if I was sitting in front of her, I would take notes also. I was actually with Delana last week, and Delana can probably just shake her head. But we did some live Coco chats, and we did some Zoom. And Delana, did I take notes? Every time. I don't count on my memory. So, all right. So Tara's in front. Hi, Tara. It's Lori from Dark Chocolate Discoveries. How are you?
Hi, Lori. What are you doing?
Well, I had promised you that I would get back with you this morning at 10 o'clock, so I wanted to keep my promise and call you and visit with you a little bit about what we talked about last night, about the Dove opportunity and how someday it might be the answer to you not having to go to that job that you're going to full-time.
Oh, well, I appreciate you calling, but I don't know if I can do it.
You know what? And Tara, I don't expect you to know if you can do it. That's fine. But what I just would like to do, if you don't mind, is just, since we went ahead and scheduled, is just give you some information, learn about you mostly, so I don't give you some kind of canned spiel. And that way you have the information, and if it does work for you, great. If it doesn't, you could store it away for another day, or you might even share it with a friend that's looking at some point. Would that be okay?
Sure.
Good. Well, Tara, we really didn't get to speak much last night. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Are you married? I remember I think you said you had children.
I am married and I have 3 boys.
Oh, wow. How old are they?
13, 6, and 2.
Oh my goodness, you've got them spread out. And what's your,
Oh, you cut out.
what's your husband's name?
Chris?
Chris? Awesome. So Tara, if you were able to bring in extra income and only have to be gone a few hours at a time, say, anywhere from $500 to $1,500 a month just being gone out of the house, say 3 to 5, 6 hours a week, how would Chris feel about that?
I think you would be able to survive, maybe.
Doesn't the money talk normally to the guy? I bet he would survive also. Well, what would you do with that extra money if you had it?
I would probably find a vacation.
Find a vacation. Where would you go?
Well, I've been looking at Aruba.
Oh, goodness. Well, boy, do I have news for you. It's an amazing place. I happen to be going there in May, all expenses paid from Dove. And you know what? You could be joining us next year on our free trip.
No way.
Chris could go with you.
I don't think I would be able to do that in a couple hours a week, though.
Well, Tara, I can introduce you to about 100 people that did. How does that sound?
I would love that.
Yeah, not everybody that does it. We have a lot of people that just do it. Tara, have you ever done anything in direct sales before, like in the home party world?
I've done direct sales forever, and all of them are more of a hobby, and I just can't book parties.
Can't book parties.
Am I real or what?
I'll tell you one thing. If you decide to join Dove, we'll help you learn some great techniques. And let me just tell you, we're the only pure chocolate company out there. And let me just tell you, think about if someone called you and said, hey, you want to come over for a chocolate party? How would you respond?
I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that's what everybody thinks. It's chocolate. It's not like, more jewelry or more skincare. And those are all great things. But the beauty of our business is we're the only one having chocolate parties. You can have chocolate martinis. You can have chocolate brownies. We even have a chocolate-inspired barbecue sauce. I bet that would get the curiosity of some of your friends and family.
But what if I try it and, like, in a couple months it just isn't going good?
Well, I'd probably take your 13-year-old. I'm just kidding. No, we don't take your firstborn or anything. You just quit. I mean, and you can eat your way out of it. And it'll taste good. So, Tara, let me ask you a couple of more questions. I've got some cards here. I know you can't see them, but one says fun, one says support, one says time, one says simple, and one says money. Which of those words, fun, support, time, simple, or money, kind of resonate with you the most?
Fun.
Fun. Oh, that's right, because you want to go to Aruba, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Tara, I think what you'll find is it is such a fun business. First off, it's chocolate. Now, I do a test at every party. I make everybody say the word chocolate and not smile. It's impossible. Try to say chocolate right now and not smile.
Chocolate.
Your mouth automatically turns up on the end. So it brings a lot of fun to the business. We do have our fabulous trips. I've actually been to St. Kitts with Dove. I've been to Costa Rica. Now I'm going to Aruba. We also have trips to our home office as you move up in rank and you get to meet our chefs. And they're a little bit of eye candy and can be a lot of fun as well. We have conferences. We'll be going to Chicago here really soon. We're going to be going to Nashville. I always have to remember if we've told y'all everything yet before I forget. We'll be going to Nashville next February. So don't those sound like really fun places?
Yeah, they do, but I'm really not good at talking in front of people.
Well, that's okay. You know what? This is chocolate. Now, this is what you have to say about chocolate. Try it. You can't sell chocolate. In fact, I don't want you to try to sell it, because if someone doesn't like something and you try to sell it, you're going to be pushy, and you don't want to be pushy, do you?
No.
No, I know you don't. So here's the thing. Don't try to just get into conversations. We're going to give you an outline. Let me ask you this, Tara. Can you read?
Some days.
I bet you really can. We're actually going to give you a great party outline with word choices. And I'm telling you, in the beginning, if all you do is read it, you can still have successful parties. And you know what? You say you can't talk in front of people, but I watched you cutting up and having a blast with all those girls last night.
But a lot of my friends set New Year's resolutions and they're trying to lose weight, so I don't know who would help me and start booking parties.
Okay, so Tara, after this, if you're just trying to be difficult, don't be. Remember, you're supposed to be natural. I've never gotten this kind of response in 25 years. What happened to natural?
No, I've got a couple like that.
I know, but you usually get 1 or 2, not 7. So, you know, okay, first off, there's no product out there for everyone. So if a couple of your friends are trying to lose weight, well, let them have at it. However, they're going to miss out on our 50-calorie lemon peppercorn white chocolate vinaigrette. That's only 50 calories a serving. That's like a third of what the regular salad dressings on the store shelves are, and they don't even get to put chocolate in theirs. And we have a Vitalize, which is a great healthy drink for 25 calories that'll give you all the flavonols. So this is what I'm telling you, Tara. There's a lot more to chocolate than you know. And I think with your great personality and all the fun that we had last night, I think that you would be fantastic. And you loved the products so much, didn't you?
I did.
And I know you already went ahead and booked a party. So let me ask you this. At that party, would you rather make money or spend money?
Make money would be cool.
Okay. And if you know your friends are going to book parties at that party, just like you did, do you want to go to their parties and make money, or do you want to spend money?
Make money would be good again.
Okay. So we're looking at make money, make money, make money. I never heard spend money. So that's why I think this would be a great fit for you. Let me ask you, was there another word on this out of support, time, simple, or money that resonated with you?
Support.
Support. Well, I hope that you feel comfortable talking to me, because I would be your upline. I would be that person there to support you and help you and answer your questions. And if you couldn't reach me, I have an amazing upline. Her name is Ricky Goings, and she would be there to help you as well. So if you can't reach me, you have Ricky. And then Ricky has Nicole and Stephanie. And then you have field services. And then you have our website. Let me just tell you, there is a plethora of people that can be there to support you. And if you like to do things on your own, we have a great kind of self-taught program online. We have recorded calls. We have live calls. We do webinars. I really do believe you're going to have the support personally, but you're also going to have a support from a promotion standpoint, where we're going to look for ways to support the growth of your business on our dime. How does that sound to you?
That sounds awesome.
Good, good. Well, this sounds like, you know, I remember you saying you didn't like your job. A vacation sounds pretty darn good. If you thought you could make, say, $500 to $1,500 a month just holding 1 to 2 parties a week, does this sound like a fun enough thing for you to do that?
I think I could give it a try.
Good. And do you feel like you'd have the support that you need to be successful, and the confidence that we can help you get those parties booked?
Well, you've been super helpful already.
Well, great. Well, since you feel that way, you feel the support, the fun, all we need to do is get you signed up. Are you near your computer?
Yeah.
Great. Well, here's what I'll do is I'll have you log on to my website. All right, we're going to stop there. Thanks, Tara. You did fantastic, by the way.
I had to give you a little bit of a hard time. That's what I've been getting lately.
That's okay. I think a lot of people are really glad they got to hear some of that. So why don't some of you just share, what are some of the maybe either aha moments that you had? Maybe you heard something different than you've been doing that you feel will help you to be more successful. Think about how I used what I learned about her and her family and her past experience to help me. I always say you want to start closing from the beginning. You don't wait to close the sale at the end. You start at the very beginning, and that's by learning and using that information all the way through. So why don't some of you come off mute and share what you learned and how you're going to use it moving forward.
Hey, Lori, it's Ricky.
Hey, Ricky.
I liked at the very, very beginning where she was like, oh, no, I don't think so. And you just totally disarmed her and got her to agree to listen anyway.
And Ricky, do you remember what I used?
No, can you say it again?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So when people are, I just don't know, they had an interest enough to set the appointment. So you know what? I think I said, I don't expect you to know.
Right.
And I said, I don't expect you to know. Why don't we do this? If you don't mind, since we had the time set up anyway, let me go ahead and just give you the information so that if the time ever does come, you can make an educated decision. If the time doesn't come, or you can make an educated decision now or for later, or if the time doesn't come, you can share it with a friend.
Right.
So, even just agree with her. I don't expect you to know. We haven't had the call yet. So, yeah, I'm glad you picked up on that, Ricky. I wasn't going to let her get off that easy. Because
just shut you down.
If I had, she wouldn't have ended up joining. And y'all probably figured it out. Tara and I did not rehearse this. She could have said no, and I would have handled it gracefully, and that's what you would have heard. But I don't like to role play with the answer known. I like to real play, and I think that's what we just did. We real played instead of role played. Great insight, Ricky. Who else wants to share something they heard, learned, or even if you have a question about something?
Okay, Lori. I like your hair, by the way. And I would love to hear from Delaney. I still have trouble recruiting, and I've just finished 6 months. And if she did 12 recruits in 3 weeks, I would love to hear from her as to how she did it. What was her magic or whatever happened? Did she blackmail people or, what happened?
Delana, do you mind sharing? I didn't know that would happen, but go right ahead.
Okay, I'm just learning your system. I had to figure out how to unmute. Sorry.
That's okay.
Was it Wanda?
Yes.
Okay. Wanda, I just basically talked to everybody.
Yes, hi.
Hey. Can you hear me okay? I pretty much just
A little bit, yeah.
I pretty much
There's obviously a delay. So Delana, maybe if you don't ask questions, because there's obviously a delay on Wanda's end.
Okay.
Wanda, if you're on the phone and the computer, you're going to get a delay.
No, I'm not.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Delana.
I just pretty much talked to every single person that I knew. I started with the basics, my list of 100, and I just kind of started going down my list. I checked my Rolodex, my Facebook friends, everybody, but that's what I did. And I got a lot of no's, but I got yeses as well. But I was super excited because it was brand spanking new. I just come off of a bad situation with another company closing. So I networked with my people that I already knew. So.
Okay. Awesome.
I think I will tell you, I've been around Delana, and I will tell you, and I think a lot of it is her excitement. She almost can't let people say no because she truly believes it's such an amazing opportunity. And so sometimes we have to resell ourselves. We have to become new again and find that first day excitement and remember why we joined and how excited we felt. And that's what I heard in her voice when I would listen to her. It's like, you've got to hear this. Oh my gosh, you should see this program. And they like give you this money for a quick start, and then they match it like forever. Can you believe it? We've never seen anything like this before. they have all these products. It's not just, it truly was this just like, oh my goodness, you would be, stupid not to listen kind of. Of course she didn't say that, but that's what her enthusiasm said. So find that first day. Another thing that I'm going to want in response to that too is last night Jen Fitzgerald and I were talking, and we were sharing about our team meeting, and something that I wrote down, let me see if I can find my note real quick, that she told me, maybe it's a different notepad, was at her team meeting. Oh, I hope I can find it because I don't want to misquote you, Jen. She told her chocolatier, wait, is this it? No, that's something else. She told her chocolatiers the most important 3 letters in their vocabulary were going to be ASK. And I love that. You just got to ask. They say if you ask enough people the wrong way, you'll still get a yes. You know, you might not get them as well. You came to this training to get better at how to ask. But honestly, you know, some of you may have done this before. There'll be like the 50 no's. You have to get 50 no's on booking. You have to ask people until you get 50 people to say no. And what happens is it takes the sting out of the no. You're like, yay, got a no. But you're even more yay on number 7 when you got a yes. And when you do that 50 no's, normally you'll walk away with 4, 5, 6, 7 parties at least. But the thing is, by winning, when you get 50 no's, it kind of takes the sting out. But another thing that I will say, and we're just a little bit over time, is that be careful to really chart who you're really asking. Because a lot of times we think the business and don't do the business. So when you ask someone to join and tell them about the business, you should be keeping a list. Because at the end of, I had a manager once tell me, or maybe it's a senior leader, I don't remember what she was at the time. I was working with her, and she told me that she had done 22 Coco chats, and she hadn't recruited anyone. So I started asking her to tell me who they were. Well, then we got down to it. She really had made 12 phone calls, and 7 people answered and 4 agreed to talk. So she'd really done 4 Coco chats and not gotten a recruit. That's real different than 22. But in her head, she had identified these people, and maybe she'd said, you know, we ought to talk about the business or whatever. But that's not talking about the business. That's just dropping a seed. Or you ought to do this with me. That's not finding their need. That's not paying them compliments. That's not building a relationship. That comes off more about you. Until you take the time to invest in them and tell them why you think they would be good and what the benefits are and how this can better their life, that's when it becomes a true interview, or as we refer to it as a Coco chat. A good, Wanda, thanks for asking. Delana, thanks for sharing.
You're welcome.
Someone else, questions, something you learned? I hope you guys learned some things. Or you're all so good you didn't learn anything, and there's going to be 10 recruits, and I'm going to be jumping in my pool in the morning, right? Y'all know everybody saw the Facebook challenge, right? And by the way, since Becky Grant gave me such a hard time, I'm giving y'all till noon tomorrow because she said I didn't post it till halfway through the day. So for those of you that did it, we got record snow in Texas, so I took a picture this morning, and I put it out on Facebook with my pool surrounded in snow, and said when the Bravo region got 10 new recruits. And by the way, y'all think Tara right there in the middle? Tara's not even in our region, and she recruited someone in our region for our 10. Tara. No, we're so happy. But she added to the 10 that I would do the plunge for you, helping someone plunge into a great career. So I'm going to jump into my freezing cold pool when we have 10 recruits by noon 1 tomorrow. We'll play with it. I want to jump. Trust me, I want to jump. I don't want to jump. I want to jump. I don't want to jump. I want to jump. You know, that's how I feel. So we'll have fun. Questions, learning, comments? Okay, then I am going to believe that all of you have all the tools, all the knowledge, all the know-how, and I'll be jumping in the pool tomorrow because we've got 27 people on the call tonight, and easily we should walk away with 27 new chocolatiers. So thanks for joining us. Next week's topic is going to be hostess coaching for successful parties. We're really going to talk about that partnership. Back in the day when I first started, we called it party planning. Anybody else remember that term from old direct selling, party planning? And really it's a combination of planning their party and coaching them for a great partnership. And that 10 to 15 minutes that you spend with your host can make a difference in doubling your profit. No matter where your party's at, you want to spend that time investing in her and partnering with him to make sure that you have a super successful party. Don't ever not coach. That means you're giving your income, putting it in the hands of someone else. Always be in control of that. So have a great week, everybody. Keep recruiting with that $85 kit. 31 parties in 31 days from every team. And there was one other thing I was going to say. Oh, March Money Madness. We're going to make tons of money this month. Take care. Good night.
Thanks, Lauren.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.